Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities in case you missed it for May 2021. There were a few standout stories this month that gave me a chuckle, and now I'm going to share them with you. So let's jump right into it. Our first story comes to us from North Korea, where they are fighting the threat known as capitalism. Want to know how they're fighting it? Well, they're fighting the capitalism threat by banning skinny jeans, mullets, and spiky hair. Apparently, this promotes an exotic and decadent lifestyle, and we can't have that now, can we? Dyed hair, branded shirts, lip and nose piercings are also banned in the fight against capitalism. You are, however, allowed to have your choice of one of 15 approved non-socialist haircuts that somehow all look alike. In truth, this isn't a fight against capitalism. This is a banning on expression to keep folks in line and not give them ideas. Can't have some young punk ready to rebel against dear leader with dyed pink hair and a mullet now, can we? However, I'm somewhat okay with the banning of skinny jeans. The world might actually be a better place without those stupid things. Our next story takes us to Italy, where history can be found everywhere, the culture is rich, and the art amazing. So amazing, in fact, artist Salvatore Gararu sold a sculpture for around $18,000. The original going price was about $7,000. Not a bad come up for Mr. Salvatore. Normally, I'd show you what the art is that's sold, but this is where we come across a small problem. The sculpture, called I Am, is an immaterial sculpture. You might now be scratching your head asking, what the heck is an immaterial sculpture? Well, to put it simply, it's something that is only living in the head of Salvatore. The sculpture was never made and doesn't truly exist. He's literally selling air and some moron bought it. Salvatore did offer an explanation for his immaterial sculpture, and I'm going to read it out to you. So here it is, and I quote, "The vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy, and even if we empty it and there is nothing left, according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, that nothing has a weight. Therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles, that is, into us. When I decide to exhibit an immaterial sculpture in a given space, that space will concentrate a certain amount and density of thoughts at a precise point, creating a sculpture that, from my title, will only take the most varied forms. After all, don't we shape a God we've never seen?" Adding on to this, Salvatore said that his work cannot be displayed just anywhere, but must be located in a space measuring about 150 by 150 centimeters. That is free of obstructions as well. If you're interested in purchasing Salvatore's work, then be sure to contact me as well, because I have a bridge I'd like to sell you, and it wouldn't even cost a few $1,000s. Nope, just a few hundred, and it's yours. This is Judith Black. Judith Black is 77 and lives in Florida. Judith was hungry and decided to go to Burger King for lunch. She knew exactly what she wanted: a juicy flame-broiled Whopper with cheese on a sesame seed bun. She could just taste that burger. However, something went wrong. When Judith got her order and she bit into the burger, she noticed the mess up. The tomato thickness was off. And I'm not making that up. That's exactly what she told police. The tomato thickness was off. This infuriated Judith. Judith went to the person who took her order and started yelling at them. The person told Judith that they would help her if she stopped yelling, and then turned their back to Judith. At Burger King, their motto is "have it your way," and Judith wasn't having it anymore. Judith chucked the burger at the employee and it hit them in their neck. Judith also used some racial slurs and got the heck out of there. Police were called and they were able to track Judith down and arrested her and charged her with evidencing prejudice while committing an offense, which is a felony. Ah, Judith, if only you would have gone to McDonald's instead. Now leaving Florida, we find our next story in Sydney, Australia. You know how sometimes homes have that odd smell? Nothing too bad, but it's just a peculiar smell. Well, imagine the smell of a person's home who is a hoarder. Yeah, probably not a whiff you want to take in. Now, this is where things gets nuts. The neighbors of Bruce Roberts, who was a hoarder, grew concerned because they saw a buildup of mail outside of his home. So they called police to do a welfare check. Police entered the home to not only find a hoard of items, but also the body of Bruce Roberts, who passed away of natural causes. While cleaning out the house, another body was discovered, and around the body was 70 bottles of air freshener. This was the body of Shane Snellman, who had been missing since 2002, and apparently he has been dead since 2002 also. It turns out Snellman broke into Roberts' home. Roberts shot and killed him. And instead of Roberts calling the cops saying he shot an intruder, he decided to keep the body and cover its decaying scent with air freshener. So, the body was just another thing added to his hoard of items. Earlier, we were in North Korea, but now we're traveling to South Korea, where the wastewaters are holding on to chemicals from a certain blue pill. It turns out about 23% of South Korean men suffer from erectile dysfunction. Because of that, they turn to Viagra. Well, they've been turning to Viagra so much that the chemical in it is being left in the used water. The main chemical in Viagra, PDE5I, isn't just found in Viagra either. Companies in South Korea know how in demand this chemical is right now, and they're taking advantage by putting it into dietary foods and supplements as well. So not only are you able to get hard, but you'll lose weight in the process. A win-win, right? It just so happens 88 out of 188 diet supplements has PDE5I in them, and it appears that this will be an upwards trend. So be careful if you're dieting in South Korea. You'll both lose and gain inches. Speaking of erectile dysfunction, there might be a connection to it and COVID-19. Yes, that miserable freaking COVID-19 is just like a bad fart that lingers, and while we're finally starting to beat it back, it decides to pop back up with another surprise. So, according to reports, COVID-19's ability to damage blood vessels can lead to impotence, and this isn't a temporary thing. This is permanent. COVID particles linger in the penile tissue, causing more damage and cutting off the blood needed to get things in motion for a little bedtime fun. So, if you're a guy that caught COVID, there's a chance your soldier will no longer be able to be at full salute. And for that, I'm sorry. Finally, we go back to Florida, where these two women stole a few items that were to help raise money for charity. The two women went into Salty's Gulfport bar and saw a bucket filled with items for the charity event that the bar puts on. One of the women grabbed the bucket when no one was looking, and she and her friend walked right on out. Now, here's the question you're all probably asking yourselves. What was in the bucket so valuable that you'd steal it, especially if it's something for charity? Well, it turns out the women had stolen 13 vibrators. Let me repeat that. The women had stolen 13 vibrators. The vibrators are used for the Great Vibrator Race, which all proceeds go to charity. According to the owner of the bar, one of the women called up and said that they thought the bucket was filled with darts. Yeah, right. After posting about the theft on the Salty Gulfport Bar's Facebook page, people said that they would donate vibrators for the cause. No word on if the donated vibrators will be used or new. Also, the two women have been identified and will likely be receiving a knock on their door soon by people with handcuffs, and not the cuffs with the pink and purple feathers. And that concludes In Case You Missed It for May 2021. Thank you all for watching, and if you have your own offbeat stories from this month, be sure to share it with us in the comment section down below, or share them on our Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, or Instagram page. And remember to like and follow while you do so. Those links can be found in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and I will be seeing you in June.